Uh, what is up, you guys? It's your boy Ghost, back out of the haunted house so we can give you all another video. And today, we are going to be going over the Prydwen tier list. Now, the Prydwen tier list has been something I have wanted to make a video on for the longest. I have been somewhat following this tier list ever since Star Rail, and now we're kind of we're doing it for Zenless this time. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. Please do leave a like and subscribe. It'll really help me out. And I am joined by some of my friends here.
I've had
Hello.
10 on Japod.
Okay.
What? It's 3 Japod with
No,
with S6 Litecoin.
No, I'm pretty sure Ichigo heard or just knows why I.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I got the timing right.
Just talking about your STJ party. I'm just trying to be like, yo, and these are my friends here. Like, are you guys gonna introduce yourself? Like, you're like, yo.
Yeah.
And then he's like my S6 part.
Yeah, but like, you guys gonna say, yo.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yo. Bro. Sorry.
But I am joined here by my homies Silver, Ichigo, and
Yo.
Autumn. And
Yo.
so we are going to be talking about this tier list.
This tier list, man. This is
Now,
a tier list of all time.
first of all,
I think
I think that what they should do is split up the stuff from Deadly Assault and Shiyu.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely they should split those tier lists. But when you were speaking, I thought you were gonna go and talk about the categories because it's very strange how they have a crit DPS and anomaly DPS in separate categories. And not only that, it came at the cost of the sub DPS category getting completely nuked off the planet.
I was actually gonna get to
Like,
that. I was gonna get to that.
like the question that we're all asking, and with a certain part of this tier list, were the Prydwen mods high? What did the Prydwen mods see that we can't? Because we'll get to that later.
We're clearly
it's more
unfiltered
that
here.
yeah. It's more that the Prydwen mods don't see it, and that's the issue. Plus, especially the fact that stunners and supports are in the same thing. It's as ridiculous as separating anomaly and crit. Like what?
Yes, especially when we have a anomaly character that wants to have crit.
Yeah, there's a character that fulfills both, and is also in the wrong tier.
Yeah, they put her in the wrong tier. They put her in the wrong category. Like,
Well, not wrong category, just half right.
Yeah.
yes, but she does want her ice and frost anomaly build up for sure. But she also is a crit DPS. Like, they built her the crit DPS first and foremost, and then we're like, we can also put anomaly there.
Look, I do tend to often run her with anomaly mastery and AP main stats. Like
I got to just reword what I was. It's yeah, no, and I'm not rewording. I just misspoke. Really, that's
like
a mistake on my part.
yeah, generally you do want anomaly for except for some cases like the thrall. There was a 37 K clear. I can't remember the YouTuber who did it, but with a crit Miyabi, focused on crit, just mono ice, on the thrall because well you can't use a regular anomaly build on that thing because the devs freaking hate Miyabi nowadays.
All right, but let's get into the tiers because they just like changed it again. So we got crit DPS, which used to be primary DPS. We have anomaly DPS, which used to be secondary DPS, and we still have the supports and no stun thing on its own, which
Yeah,
is really still one of the weirdest decisions I think they've made.
I think part of what they're trying to do is avoid category like bloat or having too many, which I do get to an extent. But why are they changing it in the weirdest ways they could? Stunner and support, I kind of understand to an extent, but removing the sub DPS category altogether makes absolutely zero sense. Like, I don't think there's a reason that they could give that would make any level of sense.
Yeah, especially because you have other games like I'm just looking through their stuff. Etheria Restart has 5 different categories, and that's as far as I've gotten. Like a lot have
HSR has
4.
4.
Yeah,
Yep, Earl does have 4.
I heard at one point, their Nikkei tier list had like a lot, but I'm only seeing 3 on this.
Let me check
I
the
don't
P5X
really
one too.
understand it
Uh,
those, so yeah.
oh yeah,
It
P5X has 4 too.
Yeah. Like,
Reverse 1999 has 4. Like it's just they're just making it so there just isn't as many categories on like Zenless especially, I feel like. Sure you have 3 tiers, 3 categories for Woowa, but that's because Woowa their teams are less. You don't have stunners, and you don't have really anomaly DPS in this. It's just kind of they're all pretty much crit
Yeah,
DPSs, or they're like hybrid where they buff other characters while still having a lot of damage.
yeah.
Like
You don't really have an in between your main DPSs and sub DPSs. There's nothing else in WUA that like to mix that up. You don't have, like you said, you don't have anomaly, you don't have stun. You're either a DPS, a sub DPS, or a support, and that's kind of it.
yeah, and another thing is like you can do it, but like when you have like a dual DPS kind of thing where you do quick swap stuff, they're still they function differently from how that type of thing happens in Zenless. So
Yeah.
I can see two ways about fixing this. Is change it back to main DPS, but maybe don't call it secondary DPS. Call it like hybrid, like Wuwa does. But also, like, you can use Alice as like a main DPS, right? Or you
Yeah.
could use her like, and you can use Jane as a main DPS. Or you
I was
could
about to
use
bring up
them
Jane. Yeah,
together as something of a hybrid. So
exactly. I was
be
going to mention what you had said earlier, Autumn, about Jane, where, for example, I play her with Vivian Yuzuha as a main DPS, but you played her with, you tried her recently with sub DPS to Miyabi.
yeah.
It's like she would fit perfectly in that hybrid role where she can be either or depending on your team.
Yeah. My thing is just do it like Star Rail, because Star Rail, you have an Axa in tier 0 as a main DPS, but he's also there in tier 1 0.5 as a support DPS. And this
Exactly. Yeah.
and March 7th, Evernight is in tier 0 main DPS and tier 0 support DPS. There's no need with how Prydwen's tier list is actually set up. There's no need to only have a character in one category.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about Prydwen's tier list is you can almost see each different category as its own tier list. Like, if you were making one on like tier list maker, you put tier 0, but then you have Yesheng Wang next to Astra Yao, and you can't really compare them as well.
Yeah.
Which is another
Yeah.
reason that it
They're
makes
so
no
different.
sense Miyabi is tier 0.5 and not tier 0. Because you can
Yes.
see Anomaly DPS as its own tier list.
Yes, and I think even with this weird setup they've got going on, Miyabi should still be in tier 0 regardless. Because and I was going to offer a hotter take earlier, and say possibly even Alice because of Fiend this current DA cycle, for DA specifically. That
Yeah,
she would be the best option for Fiend.
that's the issue with how that's another issue with how it works is one with both being shoe defense and deadly assault is you have two parts of content, but if you're going based on who's good in that, well, someone will see um like Alice being like a top tier DPS, but in Shiyu she might not be that good. Granted, I think right now she is.
She is very
But
good right now in GU, but in
but
this
like
DA especially, she is the high tier.
there could be a thing where DA is completely physical resistant, but Fiend is in DA, which would give a false sense of who's good. There's also the thing of if the tier list should even be based on the content that is right then, the current meta as of the 2 weeks that she was here for, or if it should be a general how good is this character across all forms of content and
I
all bosses.
I think both are fine. I don't mind either, but I also think they could do both. They could have tier lists for the current what was currently available, and then have a tier list that is a general place to look. Like you could have Miyabi be in tier 0 because she's just a good all rounder character, that even in ice weak content, if you know what ice resistant content, if you know what you're doing, you can still clear the content with her.
Yeah.
Let me say something real quick. I think this is why I started off by saying that these two should be split up, because
Yeah.
1 week is one thing and then the other is another thing. So, like, we already have this for stuff like HSR, P5X. I can't name any other games off the top of my head, but like, we already have this for like those modes. So why are we still like just having a general? Well, we can still have a general tier list, but we also need like tier lists that should be like we still need more tier lists, and also like that there was that one tier list where Trigger moved down because it was sigless at first, and now that we're doing like them with their sigs, I still feel like sigless should still work. Like,
having a no sig tier list, I think should also exist, just because it gives even the people that may be able to get her, maybe get like Alice, right? If someone is wanting to pull Alice on the upcoming reruns, they manage to get her, but they don't have the time or the pulls or whatever the case to get her sig. But they have like Weeping Gemini, for example. You have a tier list to look at for both, and you'll see, you'll get a rough idea of how far she'll jump once you do have sig.
And also, it's not necessarily how far she jumps, but how she changes in relation to other characters with their sig. Because, like, how far she jumps is more of a personal thing, but everyone else is also increased by having their sig. It's not like Alice with her sig, without her sig, is going to be in the same tier as freaking like Evelyn with her sig. The damage, because Evelyn is gaining damage from her sig, whereas Alice, if you don't have her sig, you're at the same level as Evelyn without her sig. So you can't just compare the tiers, like how far in relation to other characters they jump, because it will depend on how good their sigs are too.
and again, we have this for Rua. They can do this, but they choose not to.
They've shown other games that they have the means to deliver a lot of the things that we've talked about that they should add for their Zenless tier list, and they just haven't necessarily. Which is fine. I mean, they can always do that in the future, but it is still strange that they would even make some of these changes in the first place.
Yeah. Anyway, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's just talk about the characters. So,
you want to start with the elephant in the ring?
No, let's start with we start off with crit DPS. We'll go just the tier 0, tier 0.5. Or we'll just start off with crit DPS. Okay?
Yeah, fair.
Now, first thing here, we got Yesheng Wong, of course. He's going to be tier 0 because she is like the newest Void Hunter. Content is just going to be very skilled towards her. So, there's
Even
no
beyond that,
there's no
Yeah.
like really argument that's needed to be had there.
Yeah.
yeah, and even beyond current content being shilled to her, just her kit in general is really good. There is the thing where she shreds miasma faster. Obviously, if they stop using miasma, that will become irrelevant. However, being she basically allows you to ignore conventional stun rotations because she just has the stun multiplier the whole time, basically, if you play her right.
Yes, and to a degree, I also agree with what Io had claimed, which is that characters like this being strong and easy to play is not a bad thing, but it is dumbing down the player base to an extent as well, where people
Yeah,
they're learning a lot less about the game by playing someone that doesn't require you to do so in the first place.
yeah. I think I won't say she'll be like Miyabi because like initially people did not play Miyabi right. I for one was quite casual like then, and I didn't even make use of Miyabi's core passive. I played Miyabi, Bernice, Caesar, and cleared content. I should not have been able to clear content with that team. That team doesn't make sense.
The
Because there's
weirdest part
no
about that
support
team,
character.
honestly, the weirdest part about that team is the Caesar. But even then, back in like 1.4, that wasn't. I don't think by 1.4 that was necessarily a bad team.
No, it's a bad team because Miyabi doesn't work with well, she works with Bernice, but she doesn't work with Caesar and just having literally I changed Caesar to Lucy and had much better results.
Mm,
Because I actually made use of her core passive.
I
So
think. Unfortunately, I was someone that never got to do the early Miyabi teams. Because I lost and had to get her up again. I started playing her when people had kind of just figured her out, and by then Astra was coming. So I kind of just had the stage set for me perfectly in that regard to clear the content and just not even think about it. And then Evelyn came out, and now I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not getting the results. And then I had to learn to play the game and
yeah.
how to actually
So
play a rotation.
what I was getting to with that is I think that a lot of people will just kind of mash buttons on Yeshalong and achieve results. However, once once they once the content isn't as catered to her, I don't really see how you counter her that much because of course the stun stuff, and other than just adding a lot of physical resistant um content, uh I think you will have to figure out how how to do a basic combo. So you'll eventually need to not button mash, though she will still not be all that complicated.
Yeah. No, she's not ever going to be a difficult character to play. She will just get slightly harder once you have to think about your rotation instead of just button mash.
Anything to add, Ghosty?
No. I was actually gonna ask Ichigo how he feels because Bro's just been
Um.
quiet the whole time.
Yeah. No, I was just been listening. So I do think that like after like because the only way they can actually make um Yixing Wang like not viable later is by disabling the that multiplier.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think that or doing
I
something that would also there's in anomaly arbitration of Star Rail, there is a side of it that says, oh yeah, for every 1% of damage this boss takes, every character loses crit. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that would directly counter Yay. The problem is that it directly counters 90% of the characters in the game as well.
yeah,
Well, I would say
That
75 because
that is the
90,
anomaly.
problem with
like
that. That is like that
anomaly
is
as a whole is not affected by that.
Yeah.
yeah, you just
Though
play a more
though they're
AP
not
focused Miyabi even.
they're not gonna do that. I
They won't,
can
no. But that is the
guarantee
only thing I could think of off the top of my head that would make Yay a bad character, or have a bad matchup rather.
Yeah.
yeah, I can see um I can kind of see them like having a boss that doesn't take increased damage during stun, but the problem with that is a lot like pretty much every team at least somewhat relies
On the stun
on
rotation.
the stun rotation. Like everyone makes use of that stun multiplier.
Yeah. Because
The
like
only the only
even with,
characters that, well, there aren't any. It's just like also that would make just stunners as a whole useless against
yeah,
that.
like with this new set that we see in Zenlist, like there is now a stun rotation anomaly set that wants you to now focus heavy on the stun rotation.
Mm,
I'm like they're still like showing that the stun rotation is important, but like if they want to get rid of Yay, they need to figure out some way to like make it so she either doesn't deal damage during those points, or you literally just have to max the HP inflation to the roof just to make her like take even longer to beat the boss.
the only real counter I see is, well, they could add another thing like a miasma shield, maybe just like a shield that wouldn't take that, but that wouldn't take damage from um take the increased damage, but that would be like targeting only her.
Yeah,
It's not like how they've been they've been targeting Miyabi, but like it is a general kind of target. It's not it's not like it's her in it's not like it's her entire kit being targeted. Whereas I just don't see, other than just physical resistant content,
yeah,
I
but
don't see a way to.
even though like with physical resistant, you don't really need to care too much
You do.
about resistance, since
You
like
you
this is one of the
rarely
games that
do.
I don't really see it much. Like in this game, there is resistance, but it's not as bad as like just doing no damage. You still do damage.
It is really bad. Um, you you think that just because of the characters you play, like M6, um, M6 Evelyn does have res ignore, and Miyabi herself has res ignore, but
Yeah,
there
and then
aren't many characters that have res ignore.
okay.
Anyway,
Because like
oh, I was gonna say, are we done talking about yeah, or
yeah,
like?
We can be.
All
Yeah.
right.
It's just there's a lot to talk about with the new characters release. But yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Now let's talk about each one here. First of all, I would like to see. Well, what's the expert tag here for?
Oh, Trust
Like,
me.
doesn't that usually mean that they could possibly move up?
Yes,
If
that is no. Actually, they changed the criteria. It's that expert was that. Now it's the opposite. If you don't play her right, she isn't in that tier. Which is another reason to move Miyabi up and slap an expert tag, but we're not getting into that. It's that if played badly, consider them a tier below what they are now. Which I don't entirely agree with that description. However, I will say, Yishwan, you can definitely. I have been trying to learn her better, kind of succeeding. I'm still a bit. I'm not sure exactly. I've been trying to learn Yishuan Qingyi, but because I have M2 and it adds an ability, it's kind of a bit confusing to learn. But yeah, I think she does the the only reason I would say there is for Yishuan not being tier 0 is just that Miyabi isn't tier 0. That's the only reason. Because I can see being the only tier 0 DPS right now.
yeah, yeah,
I just thought, well, one other issue with how they set up their tier list is, though you can read it, I think they should add a note, like, in the, by the, where it says, like, by under, there at the top where it says in the Zone 0 tier list, SD and DA, they should probably have a note saying that the tiers are organized based on alphabetical order.
Yeah, that would be
Because
nice.
it is not initially clear that the reason why Sanbi is in front of Bonue and Bonue is in front of Evelyn is because it's because she's Anby and starts with a A and Bonue's starts with a B.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I think now that we got the extra tag out of the way, I do think that she should belong in tier 0 then, because like playing her without skill and with skill are two different things. Like
Yeah.
like I've optimized my rotation with Yishuan so much. I have M0W1 by the way with Pan and Jufufu so much that like I know what I'm doing, especially when it comes to stuff like not Fiend. What's that one boss?
Hunter.
Priest.
Priest, yeah.
Priest and Hunter. So like I playing her without the skill is just you're gonna get your ass kicked. Like
Yeah. With what I've just been doing, against, I've been using mine against Wandering Hunter. If I like screw up a couple things, I'll get like 35k. However, my highest score on it is 41k. Like, and I've been trying to learn how to do the technique alt animation cancel. And I've been somewhat successful, but yeah, I'm definitely no expert. I'd say I'm just kinda middle of the pack with my Yishuan skill, though I might be underestimating or overestimating myself.
But I think other than that, let's go to tier 0.5. So starting off with Sanby here. I do not have Sanby, so I cannot speak on this. So this will probably just be Autumn's all Autumn's territory.
Yeah. I'm the only one in here where I do have M1. I'm getting M2 next banner. I'm hyped, but M1 doesn't change her gameplay, particularly. I think she does deserve 0.5, especially considering the lower tier. I think that she might deserve an expert tag, though with the current definition of expert, you can't really, like, it's kind of like Sanby played wrong won't drop down to Ellen played wrong, but they like. But if you play Ellen right, she might catch up with your Sanby if you're not playing Sanby right. So there is an aspect where where a lot of Zenless characters should realistically have an expert tag. It's just the expert tag isn't that, it's not quite good enough to explain every nuance to it. The only issue with Sanby is, well, she does quite want her best team, but that as a team, it is a good team. I think it does deserve 0.5.
Oh, also another thing is that I think that we should have tags for like primary DPS, sub DPS, hybrid. So like characters like Ye Shenguang and Yishuan and Sanby should all have like a primary DPS tag.
I personally don't think primary DPS is quite the way to go. I do think you're right. I just don't. I don't think like primary is the right. I think on-field DPS is more so the case, because if I'll just give an example in Genshin terms real quick. Like you have a child, right? And he's on field most of the time in that team, but Zhang Ling is doing all of the damage. You can't really call him the primary DPS because Zhang Ling is doing all of the damage. But you can't call Zhang Ling the primary DPS because she isn't on field. So also Sanby doesn't actually do. Sanby does about 50% of the team's damage, I believe, with the other 50% being split between Orphe and Trigger. So, like, you wouldn't call either of them. You'd call them more. Well, Trigger, of course, being a stun, but you would call Orphe an off-field character, but like you'll have characters that aren't really primary DPSs, but can be, like, I think hybrid is the better way of putting it for
Yeah.
for on-field and hybrid are better categories, in my opinion.
That is fair, yeah.
Like, also, Sandbeat does actually buff, but she can only buff the off-field characters because it assumes P6 potential 6, so that means that your aftershocks are dealing have a 50% more damage against the enemy that has the silver mark, but the silver mark is only there when Sandby's on field. So, kind of, though she is technically a buffer, she is the on-field DPS that is doing the most damage. But yeah, overall, I think Sandby deserves her place. She's no tier 0 character, but tier 0.5 is a decent placement for her. She's a strong
Absolutely agree.
DPS, especially with buffs. And yeah, she has the most complete team in the game. Yeah. On to Bonue then? Or...
I will gladly discuss Bonue if we would like to go there.
I'd like to put this in the video real quick. Silver has a bias, a big bias.
No, so
Anyway.
okay, so I'm going to preface my bias with this. For one, he should be the Void Hunter, and that is all I'm going to say on that. For two, my honest thoughts on Bonue. So I am someone that has his Sig. I have no Mindscapes, and I am running him with M5 Panda and M0 Fufu, which is one of his weakest teams. He is still clearing content. You just need to get good. Like that is the simple fact, is that he deserves to be there, but only if you are actually good enough and willing to learn his combos. You have to get good at the game. That is the stipulation. That is the trade-off to playing Bonue.
Yeah, because
You don't have any one specific thing to do that will allow you to eat. You don't have an easy rotation like Yaishan Guan currently has. You don't have characters that give you free quick assists like Astra Yao does. You just have to get good. You have to learn the game. And I am all for that personally. I think he absolutely has earned his keep so far on my account to be tier 0.5. Especially because he gets good the more you invest in. He gets better the more you invest into his team. Like I said, I don't have either of his strongest teammates, but he's still clearing content. So once he does have both of his best teammates, or even just Lucia, he'll be way stronger.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I think he deserves the spot that he's in also, especially with the expert tag. Yeah, if he's playing by an expert, then yeah, he can definitely. I've seen some really good runs with him that I don't ever think I could ever like do unless I actually picked him up and
There are people that have
sat
more
down.
time than even someone like me has, that is willing to learn and invest into his combos. They are doing nasty stuff with him. It is so cool to watch.
yeah.
He is
Like,
one of those fun characters to watch just spin his wheels.
I'm definitely pulling on rerun. It's just so cool.
Absolutely.
I think the next character will have a pretty comprehensive discussion surrounding.
Yeah,
considering Ichigo.
Hello.
So,
yeah. I mean, you both have Evelyn, so
Yes, and this
Yes.
actually is an interesting perspective because I have M0 and Ichigo is M6, so we can talk about both the low end and the high end investment of this character,
oh, also,
which is
also the fact that Ichigo has been on your account multiple times.
yeah, Ichigo
So
has also
yeah.
has plenty of experience with M0.
Yeah, because I think when Evelyn first released, I think I got her M2 off the bat. I didn't get no like M0 Evelyn, that whole thing. Like I've never touched an M0 Evelyn until I was able to play on server's account to see how she actually plays that M0, which it's a bit different because the resource management is more
Height.
nece- yeah, it's tight and more like you need to focus on it a lot more, which with M2 you get a lot more resources to use in your battles. So like the whole like stick with Evelyn is like you need to focus on like the resources, because if you don't go into a stun rotation with full resources, you lose on like maybe like 2 million damage. Like just if you don't like that's like
Her
yeah like for
her
little
ult.
hmm?
Sorry, I'll let you go.
No, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Like
Um,
the amount of resources we use in one ult is all of it, which is the issue. If we stun too fast, or it's like if we stun too fast, we will lose a lot of damage without because we won't have enough resources to use it in the ultimate or in the rotation.
yes, I was going to say, as someone that has M0, M0 R1 of Evelyn, yeah, I agree. Like, if you don't go in there with full resources, her ult alone in stun rotation, the final hit of it, I've done hits over 2 million damage every single time, and that is without even things like Astra's ult, which will help boost the damage a little further. So yeah, the damage that you lose out on by not having that going into stun rotation does make a big difference, and it's another chain attack.
Yeah.
Uh, so the thing to note though is that I had to learn this the hard way. If you have max stacks of everything going into the stun rotation, ult first, not just for the more decibels, but you get the free one back anyway. I did it multiple times where I would just do the first chain attack with all three stacks and then ult. I just needed to reverse that, and my scores increased quite a bit because I was just getting ult back more often.
Okay. So tiny thing. Do first chain attack. Do two chain attacks, then ult, then triple chain attack, because it's not giving you a free point. It's making it so you have a third permanent point.
That yes, that is what I meant.
Yeah.
That you get your even if you have all three stacks, if you ult after you do your big chain attack with all three stacks, you get the refunded one anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like if you don't play her like you're supposed to, you will lose on like thousands and like millions of damage.
Yes, and fun fact, because I don't think a lot of people have caught on to this. I don't see many people do it. Astral Voice Evelyn is very fun.
It's
Me and Ichigo have both tried it. It honestly, if you're willing to put your Astro on Moonlight Lullaby, it's honestly her best in slot. I it's so good because the moment I found out that Astral Voice doesn't care who's doing the chain attacks as long or the quick assist as long as they're getting done, that helped out a lot.
yeah.
That helped out a lot with, oh, I can just do that now. That's cool. Just free access to using Astral Voice on whoever,
Yep. Okay.
which has opened the door to Astral Voice on like other characters with alongside Astro, of course.
Yeah.
Alright, are we done talking about Evelyn? Or
Yep.
Yep.
Yes,
Alright.
yes, yes. I've gushed enough about my
Yeah.
my main.
Alright. Next we have Orphe. Orphe. Another character I do not have So
Yeah.
For the team that she does work in, I think she's earned tier 0.5 because she's not
It,
locked to Obel. She's
right
best
back.
in Obel, but she can
You guys
work
keep going. I'm gonna be right
alongside
back.
um
Okay.
she can work alongside she worked over Astrud and Evelyn team. I've tried her with Banyue over Pan with how my account is. And both of those work really well. She's just a really strong sub DPS that also does off field damage.
yeah.
Like her downsides are fairly minimal.
There's also with Orphe. I don't have her sig yet. So I do plan on getting her sig. But Orphe is especially good in aftershock teams, which is currently only Anby for some reason. I don't know why they didn't add aftershocks to Seed, though I'm fine with Anby because she's being better than Seed because she's one of my favorite characters. But the thing with Orphe is and and Anby together is because of the aftershocks Anby does. She can extend the buff uptime of Orphe to like 30 seconds instead of whatever it normally is, which basically allows you to spend less time on Orphe. Also, Sandby increases the damage aftershocks do, which is of course most of Orphe's damage. And I use her on Zeon's light cone because I saw it was slightly better than my other options, and she's done a lot of damage, even on that. I think on Internet Network there is 60 other people who use Zeon's weapon on her aside from me. So yeah.
You got anything to say? Oh.
I just think, yeah, she does deserve tier 0.5, or if they had a more sensible, they had more sensible like categories, I think she's a tier 0 hybrid, like, because you don't really get like what she provides. She is great at it. It's just you can't really compare her and Yishuan or Ye. Like, they don't
Yeah.
their kits are just so fundamentally different that although Ye and Orphe are both attack characters, the role they fulfill is completely different.
Yeah. Also, what the
Yeah.
heck happened to all the tags? Like, why do we only have two?
Yeah.
We only have partner and expert.
Yeah, like I don't know why they removed like stun especially since they just lumped them all into support. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, or like the aftershock tag.
Yeah, because aftershock characters, funny enough, work better with other aftershock characters. There are some, like, Yuzua has an aftershock, but she of course wouldn't like be counted as that just because it's not really her use. But like, really, they should just have a DPS and specify, oh, this is an anomaly character.
Also, maybe a either a sub DPS tag or uh dual DPS tag, because like someone like Seed.
I do
Yes.
think that fits better into a different category rather than a tag. But if they put it in a separate category, then yeah, like I think it should be a separate category called like hybrid, and then Orphe and Seed have like sub DPS as a tag, whereas like Jane can have like a different type, like a dual DPS tag. Like that does make sense. If we're gonna talk about Seed now, then I think that's only you, Ghosty, that can talk about her.
Well, the
fair.
thing is, I have not touched my Seed in like forever. So,
Bruh.
like, the last
Ayo?
time I actually touched her was, oh my God, Silver.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
You should be.
He should be.
Listen. Ghosty paid me to do it.
I haven't touched Seed since Defiler was like back in DA, which was
Damn.
a while ago. I've not used her since, and I still don't even know how to really even use her too well. Like, I also don't have the right characters for her, so I feel like the stuff I would say would be very disingenuous to Seed players. Because I don't have her best team. I don't have the right investment I should into her. Like, I mean, my build is okay. I don't have her Sig though. And I also don't have Orphe, which is like a big teammate that she would want. I should probably try her with Ye, to be honest, but I have not done that. So
Yeah, I kind of doubt that synergy would work.
yeah,
Synergize, but yeah.
I mean,
Anyway,
I can't talk about Yidhari though because
yeah, I was about to say, Yidhari is a character you can definitely talk on.
Oh yeah, I have a bit of experience with her as well.
Ah, on your brothers, I see.
Yes.
I think Yidhari deserves the place that she's at. I think she's really simple if you know if you know what you're like really doing. Like, all you really gotta do is kind of just you either spin to win, or you spin to win while waiting for the enemy to hit you, and you charge a lot.
So
you basically just play her to Hulk Star Rail.
So a super complicated character that's hard to learn and deserves an extra tag. Totally right.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh yeah, because you have to. You also have to manage her HP, because if you don't manage her HP,
you die.
It's not that you
I mean,
die.
is
9 times out of 10 you don't.
Or
But it's
is
more that
really worth taking her the expert tag though? Are
I
people
was
that
joking.
skillish, dude?
I was joking.
It's more that
I'm not looking at
you
a
just
current-
don't
I'm not
get
looking
her
at a current-
buff.
at the current moment, so I'm just like I'm just listening in on the conversation and
Yeah, she
commenting
doesn't have
when I
extra
can.
tag. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Like, it's more
I
that you
don't
just
know
don't
how
get
she
her
works,
buff
so yeah.
through her core passive. Like that 100% crit damage is a lot, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just not having that while alting is just kind of it's terrible. It's terrible. It's messed up so many runs for me. So
Well, I do need to leave. I will probably not be back for the rest of this, so Yeah, I'll see you guys.
Come on.
All right, see ya.
Goodbye.
But
All right.
Okay, the next
We
one.
got Tier 1. I don't think we need to talk about Tier 2 and 3. But yeah. Ellen. I do play Ellen. I don't play her a lot. She is my favorite character though, and I do have a really good build on her. Like on Internet, she's number 120 as of right now. Um, she, I pulled Dylan for her, and she is currently in a decent spot. She can clear when you need. She can clear content that's like Ice Week and doesn't just disable her, which no, there's not really any Ice Week content that does disable her. She doesn't. She's not a great character. She's just okay. She's a you'll clear Ice Week content with her. That's I did try her against Wandering Hunter. I don't think I ended up I don't think I ended up fully beating it, but I was close and I just kind of got bored and that's why I didn't. But I mean, Wandering Hunt is obviously not made for Ellen. But I beat the Thrall with her. I could beat the Thrall with her. It wasn't amazing, but like she just kind of works when she works kind of character. So yeah, I think though I wish she was a tier 0 DPS, she's tier 1 and that's okay. Yeah, that's all I can say.
For like a 1.0 character, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
I also have not touched my Ellen in like I have not touched my Ellen in like forever. So I don't know how good she is, especially with her buffs now. So I can't really speak on her too much. But what I will say is that she's I still think she should be tier 1, especially with because I mean we have some stinkers down in the off meta characters that are just like I would rather play Ellen than I would Nekomata or freaking Ben at the bottom. Yeah.
I don't know why Ben's a DPS.
I don't know why either. That's
Like
kind of weird.
He doesn't. Ben's kit is weird. I just looked at that. Why would you add a partner tag for Anton? Like,
Whose partner is she?
he's gonna be in tier 2 regardless of partner or not. So I don't really see why they put that there, but yeah. The one thing to note with Ellen is when I did it, I didn't have her first awakening, and I currently only have her first awakening. So though my Ellen is really good, she is missing out on a little bit of crit damage and ice res pen, so yeah, that is a factor. But it won't change much. Haru, I don't think any of us play Haru.
No.
I can somewhat. Like I know how he works. I can definitely play him. I just don't have him built. Only thing is, I do think he should be on the same tier as Ellen, and he's just kind of a little bit. His numbers probably aren't exactly the same as like some of the characters that are in tier 0.5. That's mainly it.
Yeah. The thing with Haru is another thing is, well, I'm the opposite of Ghosty. I have him built, but I don't use him ever. But I don't really know why they added the expert tag. Though yes, you do want this is another example of just the expert tag not really being what it should. Is yes, you do need skill to play Harumasa. However, I don't think he's on the same tier as Anton if you don't. Like that's just it's less of with Harumasa, it's more of just a general gripe with the expert tag.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they also got rid of tier 1.5 too.
Yeah, they got rid of tier 1.5. And I think there was a 2.5. I may have hallucinated that part. I never really looked down past the meta characters, because none of, other than unfortunately Caesar, no one I care to play is below there. I guess Grace with buffs, but Hugo. I don't think any of us have Hugo.
Nope.
But I think Hugo is above these characters, but only if the content if he works in the content.
Yeah, only if the enemy actually has a stun.
His kit is just not good against general things like unless you get M2 or M6, you're not really getting damage out. You have to stun them, and then you can do your damage. Except he only does one hit of damage, essentially. Like,
I mean, I've heard that one hit of damage can make or break a run, especially if you don't crit.
Yeah. And though that one hit of damage is a lot of damage, that's still one hit in an entire rotation, and then your stun bar is gone. Like,
yeah.
I do like his kit design. It's an interesting kit. However, it's just not feasible in especially Deadly Assault, because DA, you stun the enemy like 4 times total, and like you might that instantly ends the stun, but like he just isn't a DA character. He will work. You might I think you'd be able to clear, but definitely not clearing a thrall who you get like 2 stun.
Yeah.
Maybe, well, you'll get like 3 stuns on thrall, for instance. In Shiyu, he's probably alright. But yeah.
Shiyu is probably
He
his
just
playing
has
field,
some
but,
major...
like, with DA,
Yeah.
he's just not gonna do as well. Or he's probably just not gonna do like too well.
He is probably the most nerfed by it not being a Shiyu and a DA he's probably most nerfed by having Shu and DA in
Like,
the same
mixed
tier
together,
list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Monoto.
yeah, Monato, I'm not too sure. I have not touched them. I have not built him. I have
Yeah.
not like done any of them.
Okay,
Anything with them.
so-
So
Yeah. So I have. He is actually very nice. Like you kind of do need to learn how to use a bit of his kit. So like, I'm surprised there isn't like an extra tag with him, because like if you just go in not knowing how to use him, because I'm guessing this is M6 Monato, right?
yep.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
M6,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, like if you don't know how to use his full kit, you will lose a lot of damage, because more or less most of his kit is it's like Yadari. You want them to hit you to do massive damage back. Like I've gotten, I think maybe like per like slam down, maybe like 165k on like his parries. Like it's a lot of damage coming from like a 4-star. And that's like him with a decent build and his weapon M4. Or whatever, refinement 4. So like for being the same tier of Masa, it's like, yeah, how much damage he does, yes, he deserves being in that spot. Because he isn't like the old 4-stars.
Yeah. Next is
Soldier 11.
yeah, Soldier 11. I have her built. I've used her before, just not since the buffs. I do plan on trying her at some point. My understanding is with the buffs, yeah, she deserves tier 1. The buffs do change her build, but that's fine. Yeah, I think she's just a pretty solid fire damage dealer. Like, if you don't have Bonue or Evelyn, you don't really have. Like, you can choose Monoto and Soldier 11, and they're fine options, basically.
I have
It-
Soldier 11, but I have not touched her at all. So I don't, and it's something I just don't plan on doing.
Yeah.
And like me, haven't even gotten a copy of her yet.
I mean,
Yeah,
you don't exactly need it because you have your freaking M6
Yeah.
Evelyn. So
Yeah.
I think Soldier 11 and Monato are quite nice because they're tier 1 non-limited characters. Like there is also Piper, but like it's a good thing to have characters that are 4 stars as main DPSs that do the job. It's a good quality for a game to have.
Yeah.
Zuyuan, I have Zuyuan. I haven't used her in a very long time. I got her on release with her W engine. To my understanding, Brimstone is better than her W engine, actually. I know that she works. I don't know how to use her properly. Like, I do know that she's definitely above tier 2. She's just an alright character. It's the one thing with them making the tier 1, not tier 1 and 1.5 is you can't really it means that you're putting them all on the same tier Whereas there is some differences, of course, but in general, Z1 is definitely better than anyone in Tier 2, and probably still pretty solid. I do eventually want to actually learn to play her. Hopefully she gets buffed, and then I'll learn. But yeah, I think that's the crit DPS portion done.
We're not gonna go over Tier 2.
They all deserve their spot.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna argue for any of them. They're all better than Ben. Because Ben's kit doesn't make sense. They're not. None of them are Ben, and Ben isn't any of them, and none of them you would consider clearing with. So there's not really a point. The only character and off-meta characters that I think we could look at is Grace, but that's later on anyway, so...
Yeah.
Alright.
And the supports. We can also look at the supports.
Yeah. Let's start off... Well, let's go over to Anomaly DPS now.
Down this rabbit hole.
This side just really needs a hybrid category hybrid tag in general. Like
yeah, because again, I think I kind of think of each different like category, each different column as its own tier list, because you can't say that each one is as strong as Astra. They do completely different things. The only similarity they have is they are ether. So for that line of thinking that I have, I just think that Miyabi should easily be tier 0. I do kind of understand why they separated Anomaly. Only kind of. Because they do play different. You do, especially like disorder teams. I hadn't actually learned this because I never played. I learned this because of playing Miyabi and Jane Doe in the same team in the middle Deadly Assault against Fiend. I learned how to actually set up the anomaly bar to always trigger a disorder, because before I'd be playing and I'd fill up the ice anomaly bar, the frost anomaly bar, and then I'd trigger shatter and freeze and not get a disorder and only get one stack on Miyabi, which kind of bricked my rotation. But after playing with the team, I realized that what I want to do is I start with Yuzua, I skill on Miyabi, I build up the anomaly bar, and get just trigger a frostbite, so I can do my first enhanced basic. And then I swap to Jane and fill up the physical anomaly bar completely to trigger disorder. And now I want to swap off Jane and back onto Miyabi to fill that up to to stagger who gets the anomaly and who gets the disorder. So it does add a new fundamental part of the whole team comp.
Yeah.
And a whole new resource to manage compared to everyone else who usually... It's like... Because you'll have Miyabi's frost stacks, or whatever they're called, which you could see as like Yishong's sword stacks. And then you have their EX bar. But now Anomaly also... And then also like the stun bar. But now Anomaly has this fourth resource that they have to manage, which can add extra depth to the gameplay. However, they are still DPSs. Sure, like you can play this. Why I think there should be like a dual, like a hybrid category instead of Anomaly. And it just so happens that most of the Anomaly characters fit into that hybrid. But like you'll have like Miyabi also in like the main DPS section. So you'll have a hybrid Miyabi and a main Miyabi and a hybrid Alice and a main Alice. However, like Vivian, you wouldn't main DPS Vivian, so she'd just be in the hybrid.
Yeah, main DPS Vivian sounds like hell.
Yeah, that's like I'm Rivenous's crit Bernice, though less viable.
Yeah. Like, main DPS Vivian is only pretty much viable at C6. Like, I've literally... That's the only... I've had a friend that just only does the main DPS Vivian. I'm like, yeah, that's C6 only. Pre-C6, you'll... What was pre-C6? I was like, no... I don't even know what the pre-6 team was, but it's just bad.
Yeah. Either way, I think Prydwen were off their rocker when they put Miyabi there. Like, especially with how they think of expert tag. Miyabi should have expert tag and be put in tier 0.
Yeah, it's crazy that they put her in her own tier and put her in tier 0.5. Like that's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Her own category and then tier 0.5. Like, I know Alice is strong, Vivian is strong. I don't have either of them. I'd be more likely to pull Alice than Vivian. I like her like OCD-ness, but I don't think they can compare to Miyabi, because like Miyabi 37k'd the Thrall, who has an anti-anomaly thing.
Yeah.
Like no anomaly DPS other than her can do what she does, because she's also a crit DPS. It's just really... And I have like the same investment in my Miyabi team as my Sanbi team, and Miyabi, like, if I'm just putting them in content that they're not built for exactly, Miyabi does pretty much always end up on top. Not always, because they are like equal investment, but Miyabi is just she's not the best at... She's the best at something, but she's really good at pretty much everything.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, the only thing that she isn't that good on is the Miasmic Priest. But yeah, I do have M1 Miyabi though. That's why I say it's the same as my Sanbi.
They should have pulled they should have pulled a Lene and just knocked. If they were going to do this, They should have pulled Lene and put
Had everyone down. Yeah.
everyone
Like-
goes down, and Miyabi is tier 0. Like, there's no reason why she is inside the same tier as these two.
Like, if you say, well, Miyabi can't compare to Yi Shunlong, well, neither can Yi Xuan. They're, like, for context, I'm using my M2 my M201 Yi Xuan with I'm still learning the team. I'm using her with a Qingyi and a Lucia, and my highest score was 41k against Wandering Hunter, which though it isn't Ether Week, it does buff sheer force. But I'm currently using my against obviously it is her short boss, but my has her Wenjin, and then I have Dylan M0 without her Wenjin, and then I'm actually using Astra, so not Zhao yet. My Zhao isn't quite good enough compared to Astra right now. And she got 42.6k against the Primordial Nightmare. It's just, yes, it's shield for her, but still, she's got, it's a 4-cost team. Yeah, like, if you have Miyabi in tier 0.5 because of then you should have Yi Xuan, and in which case you might as well just add a tier 0.75, put everyone except Miyabi that's in tier 0.5 into that tier, and then put Yi Xuan and Miyabi in tier 0.5, and then only at tier 0.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's that, or you put Miyabi back in tier 0 and add an extra tag, or don't. But generally, just add an extra tag. Alice and Vivian, I think, is appropriately placed, though.
Yep.
As someone who doesn't have them. Yeah.
Yeah, Vivian just makes it so there will be more technical disorders instead of just like the one per thing.
They just shouldn't be in the same tier as Miyabi. That's
all of it.
It's very disingenuous. And then tier 1, I think, is also pretty fair. Like, Bernice's buff is quite nice. I really like her with a ER, like ER 2-piece and a ER disc 6. It just makes her feel a lot better because I don't have SIG. I've played Jane. I don't have her talent levels up that much, but they don't really matter. I think I have a pretty decent Jane build. I do have her weapon. She's true. I mean, my Miyabi without Jane, because I used Bernice, got like 20k on Fiend because, well, 21k on Fiend because of the fire resistance. I mean, but with Jane, that team felt pretty good, surprisingly. And I got, my current high score is 27.3k. And Piper, I don't know if the partner is valid. Like, I know she can perform better or worse than Jane, depending on,
Yeah,
Or-
it's very
or
circumstantial.
at least, yeah. And then Yanagi,
Yanagi
Would-
is okay. She's just very quick swap. Like that's
yeah,
mainly it for in my opinion. She's a quick swap DPS that can be a hybrid. Like she has multiple roles that she can fulfill. She can be a main DPS. She can be a quick swap. She could be she's an all arounder. I feel.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, I with Anomaly, with how I was saying they should have a hybrid and then you can have them both. I think I would you say that you could would you say Alice would be put in only main DPS, or do you think she has a place in hybrid, Ghosty?
That is definitely a question. I think
Because you can use her with Jane.
yes,
I
you
know
can.
that, and I've heard of her being played with Miyabi, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like a valid thing to say to put her in a hybrid. It's kind of the same for Miyabi,
Oh, welcome back, Silver.
where yeah, where they like hold basic. You can swap off of them and they'll do their thing off field. So they are kind of they're more of a dual DPS than a hybrid,
Yeah.
which also leads. Actually, there's a simpler way of thinking of it. Actually, Alice doesn't buff the other characters by her, and she isn't off field exactly. Whereas Jane, you use Jane on a Alice team because of the crit, of the like 50 crit damage that you can add to the assault. Though, like the team I'm doing with Mia, like this is where tags come into play, really.
Yeah.
Um,
Alice
'cause-
is just kind of quick swap the character.
yeah,
Same thing with Yanagi. I think both of them are both really extremely quick swappy. Like you can play them with as a main DPS, as a sub DPS, and even both, especially in the same team. Like that's the main team I usually run with her because I really like how Alice and Yanagi interact with each other in the same team.
yeah. I think that the best way to go about it would be you have Alice, Miyabi, Jane, Piper, and Yanagi as like the main DPS, the on-field DPS category. But then you'll also have Alice, Miyabi, Jane, and Yanagi in a hybrid category, because it all depends on how you play the team. Like, you'd consider quick swap more of a hybrid than an on-field.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think Grace could go up. I think she's better than. I think she'll be the worst character in tier 1, but she is better than the DPSs in tier 2. I think
what did
that
they-
is what the.
What is it? Yeah, Grace. Okay, so damage still seems a little underwhelming. She's being
Isn't she an
watch
ally
listed
character?
to move up if
Oh,
she
okay.
does better than expected.
Yeah. My thing is, it could be valid to have her in tier 2. It could also be valid for tier 1. She is one of the most 1.5 characters, I think, because I'd say she's going to be better than the DPSs in tier 2, but she definitely isn't as good as the characters in tier 1, especially in terms of the anomaly side. But yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's it for Anomaly. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, support is just kind of. I think
Like,
this is all kind of like. These are all pretty valid. I don't think I have anything to
I
really
do
say
have
about it.
one thing. One, why is there an expert tag on Nicole? Two, why isn't there a partner tag on Zhao? I think that's the
Oh,
main
yeah.
thing. Like
Yeah, I
those.
think she should have a partner tag.
The only
Yeah.
thing that comes to mind for the Nicole question is that there are inputs where you hold it and you move your
Yeah,
on control, you pick a certain way, you get different things. But I
yeah.
don't know if that means much. Like if that really means
I
anything.
I don't think that it means enough to validate expert
Yeah.
on it.
Also, for Xiao, I think there's not a partner tag is because she can be used in other teams as well.
The thing is, she can, yes, but she isn't even the second best. She'll be like a third.
Yeah.
And we're also
Like-
talking about SIGs here too, because they had changed it to be like with SIG. So Zhao with her SIG should also be tier 0 with a partner tag. If not, she goes down to tier 0.5. There's no in
0.
between.
I think 0.5 with, yeah, like she should have a partner tag is the only thing. Is
You still think she needs a partner tag?
Yes.
Yes, she needs a partner tag. She just doesn't provide what what the other characters do to a team.
Okay.
Like if she had if her thing was only just if it was attack, anomaly, rupture, like if her core passive was that, she could be a really good, she could be in tier 0. But since she does not have that, she goes down a tier since they decided to give her support instead of freaking rupture, even though she buffs HP.
Yeah, her weapon buffs attack and HP, which would have been amazing for rupture characters.
Even by herself, she buffs HP by 5%. Even without that, like it would be good for rupture characters if they could use her.
Yeah, it makes sense because like they didn't want to give you a free character that's better than a character they might sell us in the future.
But like, who is messing with that HP other than rupture characters? Like,
yeah, I can still see them adding attack scaling rupture characters and HP scaling attack characters, for instance.
I can see HP supports characters.
Where it is right now, it's not likely. And the especially bad thing the thing with adding all support characters is that, like, you're not playing a support character without a, like, there's no slot. You'd be doing double support, which generally isn't that good.
Yeah,
Like, she is taking the slot of the support.
she's
It
taking
makes
a,
sense for her to,
yeah, she's supposed to be
like,
a support, and not like she's either replacing a stunner in
and she
a
doesn't do days.
yeah, she doesn't do
You
days,
don't, you
so
don't,
it makes no
you don't
sense to
swap
have
to her.
her.
She doesn't do days. Like, if you had added, if you instead of support said stun, then that'd be good for like Yishwan, Banyue, Yadhari. They could use Zhao, but they want, like, they could use her in a double support. However, Pan is probably better for that. Like, if you're doing double support, maybe, I'm not sure on that. But
I just
either
think
way,
that yeah,
they like their stun windows, the rupture characters. So having a requirement of double support for a rupture character just isn't good.
yeah, she kind of just her kit kind of just upsets me a little.
I think tier 1 is fine.
I will be right back. You
I
guys keep
had-
talking though.
Yeah. I think tier 1 for the support category is fine. I do think that for the support characters, especially, a tier 1.5 would be nice. Because, like, Caesar, Bernice, Pulchra, and I'm not sure about Rena, I don't have her. I don't like them being in the same tier as the. I don't like them being in an off meta. Really starts and ends in tier 3. Or in terms of supports, tier 2 are still usable. I wouldn't call. They are off. They are off meta, but, like, there's still a use case for them. Like, they aren't the most efficient tactic available, which is what meta stands for.
Yeah.
However, they are an option. Like, Caesar's interruption resistance is quite nice. For Sanby, when I was before, like, the full team came out, I liked using her in Sanby. And she does buff attack, and Lucy is a decent option. Pulchra is budget trigger, and I don't know about Rena and Kaleda because I somehow dodged those two. But yeah, I just have a bit of an issue with them being in tier 2.
Yeah.
But, like, I completely agree that they are worse than tier 1. That's my issue.
How much does Caesar buff attack?
Let me double check, actually. I think it's 1,000. I may be off.
Alright, I'm back. What's up?
Wait,
What are you guys talking
it
about
is
again?
1,000. I was saying, I was just talking about my issue with the support characters tier 2. Because,
Oh,
like, they are decent. they are decent options in general. Whereas, like, the DPSs in tier 2 aren't decent options. But like if you have these characters, they'll work. So I wouldn't call them off meta. They're not exactly meta, they're just like Anby and Seth, sure, they're off meta for sure. I don't know about Rena and Kaleda, but Caesar does
Rena,
fast attack, and Lucy is pretty. Lucy works, and Pulchra is a budget trigger. Like,
I think Rena and Kaleda are both more off-meta picks for the sole reason of they're both still very usable. It's just that there's a lot of, and they do very niche use cases where they do work really well in some teams, but they are outclassed by more meta characters.
that is what I was saying. My issue with tier 2 is it's a bit of why I think it's best to be able to look at each category and see them on as their own list, because my issue isn't that they are the same. My issue isn't that Caesar should be the same tier as Lycon. It's that Caesar shouldn't be the same tier as Nekomata. But
I see.
this is why I think it's good to see each category as its own tier list, is because if you ignore the DPSs and you just look at support as one tier list, yes, that's a completely fair tier list. I agree with the tier list, in fact, other than the expert on Nicole and not having a partner on Zhao. Otherwise, that's a good list. I don't think they had any wholly wrong placements on the support. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, that is perfectly fair.
Yeah.
But I think that's that's kind of it for me. I don't know what else to really talk about.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's been 1 hour and 40 something. So
48, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that is plenty of audio to just turn into footage and just kind of condense. Because that entire hour is not getting, the entire 2 hour conversation is not getting used. We're not using all.
I might put it on the live channel and then I'll put I'll cut it up and then put this one or put the cut up one on the Gotcha channel.
Yeah. Just call this the raw footage.
Yeah.
Just straight raw footage.
But anyway, that's gonna be the end of the video. I hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please do leave a like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this tier list in the comments. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree? What other things do you think could be definitely better with it? And yeah, just let us know your thoughts, and we will see you guys. Well, I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye.
we're just a figment of your imagination. We're heading out.
Yeah. He's schizophrenic.
I have a message to everyone watching. Listen, to everyone watching right now, it wasn't your fault.
All right.